Give me money. I'm doing this for free. She is not paying me. I'm literally doing this for charity. As of right now, the type of formats I'm doing, the type of media, mostly graphic design, drawing, or illustration, as some of the white people in suits want me to say. Can I just let you know a one-word secret? Unemployment. And then they're going to be all like, wow, Hermit is a genius. Even though I've just been rambling on about stupid shit for about 30 minutes or so. Type shit. If me from now saw this make what I made back in like 2022, I wish slap out of myself. What'd you expect? I want people to fall head over heels over it. Either that, or I want people to freaking puke in disgust and like be all like, ew, get away from me. I want someone to feel actually feel something with what I say, whether they resonate or not. Whether they connect with them on a personal level or rubs you the wrong way. I feel like that's the ultimate goal of being an artist. Because like the biggest death sentence is being ignored. That most of these MFs post the same damn pictures. Most of these MFs make the same damn posts, like literally recycle them. Their content just is worth as much as used toilet paper, more or less. I'm listening to buying music on PSP, and I'm like, is that supposed to be a vibe? Like, I'm starting to dislike this Y2K trend even more and more as time goes on, just for the simple fact that most of them don't know what Y2K actually is. Just be whatever the you are.
Yeah, Herman, I may have to scissor some of this stuff.
But truth be told though, you should know what you got yourself into.
Hey there, Armor here. Welcome to a brand new Armavation conversation. Yes, today we have another member from the Speedboat Collective. He is a multi-talented artist who is also well known for his digital mixed media art projects. I welcome the one and only Hermit Enigma. Let's go! Woo! Awesome, awesome. So thanks, Hermit, for being here once again today. I know we had to reschedule some stuff because I was going through things, but glad you reached back out. So yeah, like you said, the Affinity Stones, right? I was reaching out to all your other group members, and I was like, well, might as well ask Hermit, right? And so you're here, and I'm glad you're here. So
I mainly just came here just because you came to Jules first and you had less output than I did. So I'm like, what the hell? I might as well get some reviews on here.
yeah, that's what I'm
Get some of
saying.
the catalog.
Might as well get Hermit, So yeah,
I love you, Jules.
yeah. So before we get started, I'd like to ask my guests, just human to human, how has life been for you? Have you had any highlights last year or anything you're excited for this year?
So far, about a month ago, I graduated college, got a graphic design degree. So basically, a
Awesome.
degree for what I'm already doing. Yeah. And I'm probably not even going to get a graphic design job. It's probably going to be something in retail. But hey, that's just the economy.
Oh,
We probably might have another recession.
bro, I feel you. This job market is something else.
Oh my God. So,
Yeah.
so this YouTube channel of yours, is that your job pretty much?
I don't know. I mean, I never thought about it as a job. It's just something I love to do.
Have you have you even gotten paid off of this even once? Have you gotten any ad revenue?
Nah, man, but hopefully one day. Hopefully one day.
It's okay. I'm going to get you views.
It's all good. I do this because I want to help out people, and whatever happens, happens. I really try not to worry about too much stuff because it'll get me anxious. But I appreciate that.
No problem. I do my best to help. I'm trying to educate the younger generation of my ways from like the even younger heads from like 10 years from now looking back at this at one of those future equivalent of those IG of those IG archive pages, and then they're going to be all like, "Wow, Hermit is a genius." Even though I've just been rambling on about stupid shit for about 30 minutes or so.
So yeah, so let's get started, Hermit. Just take us down memory lane. Talking about your artistic background. Talk about how you got into mixed media, art, music, content creation in general. How did this all start for you?
Well, I'd say this. I say it goes all the way back to when I was like not even like when I was 9 years old. Probably when I was about five or something like that. When I used to play with my toys and stuff like that, like my action figures and plushies and I'm like, and I used to frame them like they're like episodes of a TV show or something like that. Like I usually frame most of my play sessions and stuff like that when I was younger. Like they were a show on Cartoon Network or Nickelodeon, something like that. Like I used to want to tell. I actually wanted to tell stories with some of the stuff that even when I was just playing, just being a stupid little kid, I wanted to tell stories. I wanted to create something. And like at the same time too, back then I also got into like making toys, making board games, like making all this shit with bunch of paper mache and cardboard and stuff like that. I used to I always thought that I always back then I wanted to be an entrepreneur. Like I even want to start a corny ass little lemonade stand, and I wanted to sell toys over there, dead ass, like a bunch of
Interesting.
one of my paper mache toys. Yeah, it's just a little autism moment
No,
of
no.
mine of a little autism child.
Oh no, you're good. You're
Well,
good. That's pretty cool. I've never thought about that. Like selling food or drinks, but alongside like having like selling your like action figures or kind of art sculptures that you're selling on the side. That would be interesting.
And the best part about it was I didn't even know the value of a dollar at that time. I was about like 5 or 6 years old.
Okay.
So I just wanted to fucking give them away.
That's pretty cool. I didn't haven't thought about that, but that would be amazing. If you have your own event or something and you start selling your action figures or whatever you got going on, that would be awesome. Specifically now, what mediums do you work with? What specific like software or tools are you using to complete your projects?
As of right now, the type of formats I'm doing, the type of media, mostly graphic design, drawing, or illustration, as some of the white people in suits want me to say it. And I'm trying to get into video editing, music production. I only know the music theory parts, not sampling. This is going to age badly because like I'm probably going to learn to do so in about a month or so.
Hmm.
And I probably want to go into I'm also not probably. I'm already trying to go into video editing, but I just need more ideas on what I want to do and how am I going to apply my skills. And on top of that, too, I have plans of photography as well. I always wanted to do photography work and make some ads or at least draw some stuff over it, which probably might happen because I got some plans in the bag in about like a month or so. So in about like a month or two or so. So hopefully you guys might see that it come to fruition in about summer or something like that. At least that's what I'm hoping.
And it seems like I mentioned in the introduction, multi-talented artists. So yeah, you're gonna have different avenues to reach out from, and how do you think you can balance all the different things you want to do though? Because it's not always it's difficult. It's not easy being an independent artist sometimes, right? But when there's different things you want to do within the art field, it's like how do you balance those things without getting overwhelmed?
I feel like it's easy right now, at least where I'm at as of right now, because do you, like between me, you, and your audience, do you want to hear one word as of right now how I'm probably able to do this? Why I couldn't do it before, but I can now?
Yeah,
Can I just let you in on a one word secret?
yeah.
Unemployment.
Oh, yes, yes. All the time in the day, yes.
Like dead ass. That's literally how the R account when I actually took it seriously, that is why I grind so much on that thing. Just because I have literally nothing to do. I'm trying to do almost anything and everything I can to make money while I'm trying to apply for a job or at least go to college or something like that. And on top of that too, since I graduated from school and I'm still trying to look for a job, and I'm uncertain whether or not how soon that's going to happen. I'm just up under the mindset of, all right, just get everything you think you need done while you still have time, while you're still free, while you still have as much time on your plate as possible with nothing getting in the way, because that was legit the original intent. The moment I got out of school, that was my original intention. Just sit down, sit on my desk, sit on this chair, go into full basement dweller mode, and just basically screw around until I actually level up my craft. If you get what I mean.
Oh yeah, yes, definitely. And like I said, I've said this to multiple guys in your group. I was saying like I hope everything works out well for you all because you guys are like mega versatile and talented. So I mean, I see that for all of you guys. You got to keep networking, making connections as best you can, and just keep your head up. So it's not easy though. It's not easy. Okay, Hermit.
Legit.
Let me move on here to specifically your projects, right? So how long would you say it takes for you to complete your projects on average? And then how would you rate your projects from 1 to 10, 10 being the best?
In terms of length, though, it honestly depends. At one point, it might take about 1 day for something that is seemingly complex. But for another project, another post, for something that's so simple, might take about 3 or 4 days, depending on, or even 5 days or up to a week, depending on how much I got on my schedule, at least how it was in school. So it all depends on like ADHD type shit, more or less.
Mm-hmm.
How much I'm actually in the zone. Because like there's several factors. Like it comes from, like either it comes from some things I'm uncertain about, like some elements I want to add or it doesn't feel good, or something that I gotta touch up on, or either that or it's just something all like, nah, I don't feel like doing this for about 20 views, not 20 views, 20 likes, and not getting paid off some. And either that or I just want to screw around on YouTube, or like hop on another thing, pretty much hop on creating another thing. Either it's making music, doing a drawing or something like that, or just doing whatever, pretty much. It all depends on how in the zone I am. But like in terms of like scale 1 to 10 type stuff, honestly though, I think I have about like 225 posts on my R account as of right now, as of currently. I'm having a hard time trying to pinpoint which ones in specific I remember or not, because it's like that one Lil Wayne problem where he doesn't even remember his songs. I'm having that same issue.
Mm.
And I've been at this for less years than he has, so that's crazy. One of my favorites has to be the one that I has to be the one post I did in a collab with Alex. The one the one with the chick and the severed head. Can I can I show this on your channel, because it's kind of
Yeah.
graphic. So all right, feel free to censor if you like.
Oh,
This is
okay.
one of my personal favorites.
Okay, okay.
Got the edginess down. Plus, on top of that too, this is one of my recent ones. Probably one of my favorites. I just Can I just say real quick
Mm-hmm.
how much I like making my look like a cluster, and how much I like color.
Oh, okay.
I
That's
don't
good
know
to know.
I don't know if it's a mental type thing, but I just really like having colors stick out, whether it's just one thing or multiple colors. I feel like it really makes a specific really makes a whole piece stick out and make it easy for you to remember. Like
Right.
it's some sort of song in a way. Like you know when some certain songs hit you a specific like the moment you hear a beat or like some lyrics or stuff like that,
Yeah.
like you immediately get sucked in. That's how I feel with certain colors theory. Even if it's kind of simple, even if it's complex or not,
Mhm.
that's how I usually try to that's how I usually approach my projects because like I'm just a big sucker for color theory pretty much and just the way they're used.
Yeah, I'm glad you
Always been like this with a
I'm glad you
child.
mentioned that too, because I was gonna ask you what some of your favorite projects were. So I'm glad you nailed that one. Yeah, I was gonna mention too about how I love how you use. I was gonna say this later on in the conversation, but I do like how you incorporate your different colors. With your projects. Okay, so you didn't have a rating. You didn't have a 100% rating down. You just kind of not
Low
know yet.
key, I low key I kind of found one as of right now speaking while as you were speaking.
Hmm.
This one is probably the closest thing I have to to an actual 10 in terms of what I've made.
Okay. Okay.
This this is probably one of, if not my second personal favorite on here. Just in terms of my design skills.
Hmm.
This is probably one of my most complex as of right now today. In terms of like drawings, this is pretty simple, but along with the limp edit, I also say I also give this one a 10 real quick. This is a remake of an original as I made about 3 years prior,
Hmm.
but in drawing format, and it looks really dope. I think I even saw someone DM me at some point saying that they even made it their wallpaper, which is pretty cool.
Oh
Always puts a
wow.
smile on my face. If I were to have a specific like 1 out of 10, probably one of my least favorite things I've ever made on this account. And it's probably early back in the day, back in 2022. It's this.
Fight the power.
Do you
Okay.
see?
Yeah. Okay.
Do you see how? Do you see how cornball this is? Like it's not even saying anything. It's literally a protest with with a Luffy protester
Hmm.
for kicking a police thing, and it's not even saying anything. It's like you want to want to say something political, something to grab people's attention, but you're not actually saying anything at all.
Mm.
So yeah, that's probably one of, if not my least, probably my worst post of all time, probably in
Mm.
my personal opinion. It's basically me just like if if me from now saw this make what I made back in like 2022, I wish slap the shit out of myself because that's not the type of vibe that I'm even on nowadays.
Right, right. Okay. Let me ask you, I had my conversation with Jules as you mentioned, and he said the best way to describe you is, based on the word enigma, right? And that he hasn't really figured you out yet. So, how would you describe yourself and your brand as Hermit Enigma to people who are unfamiliar with you?
Low key though, if I were to describe myself as a brand in like a simple sentence, I even thought of this before, but like all I gotta say is just that what did you expect?
Mm.
That's basically how I describe myself. If I were to give myself a tagline, it's like Hermit Enigma. What were you expecting? That's pretty much my main goal. Is to like I just want to keep my main goal pretty much is to pretty much keep everyone on their toes with what I make pretty much. Like don't give people what they expect they want. Even if they expect me doing running the same motions, I'm still planning on doing something different, doing something that they wouldn't expect. Because like even since the beginning with my art, with not just my art, but pretty much everything I create pretty much from the beginning. I'm just like, if people actually, if people, there are two reactions on how I want people to react to what I make. I want people to fall head over heels over it, either that, or I want people to freaking puke, to freaking puke in disgust and like be all like, "Ew, get away from me."
Interesting. Based on what you were describing with how you, what your expectations, I guess, with how people would react to your art projects, do you feel like, how do you feel though with that controversy of like, oh, what he's posting is like too much for me, or oh, what is this? Are you okay with that?
Absolutely, because like for the sole reason is that I actually get MFs to feel MFs to actually feel something with what I make, with what I say, with what I post, and that's basically my ultimate goal with everything I do. Pretty much, like outside of me creating stuff, outside of me creating art, music, whatever I do, even in terms of me doing stupid stuff by posting stories, I want someone to feel feel something with what I say, whether they resonate or not, whether they connect with it on a personal level or rubs you the wrong way. Feel like that's the ultimate goal of being an artist.
Hmm.
Because like the biggest death sentence is being ignored, is getting apathy. Like for whatever you do, because like basically nobody likes getting ignored pretty much. Like you doing your channel.
Mm-hmm.
Do you just post your stuff and not have people not care about what you're making pretty much?
Nah,
How would that
that
feel?
that would feel messed up because it's an educational channel. I want people to be aware on different topics, and I do want to build a community where people, I could get discussions going. So yeah, I see where you're going with that.
Exactly. This artist basically trying is basically you trying to say something, you trying to make a statement, trying to express yourself, even if you're trying to like do something do something real small scale, having people ignore you is probably the worst thing to feel if you're creating anything. It's like you doing whatever and
Mm-hmm.
just not you just standing there and people not paying attention to you even though you want to be noticed so bad. Whenever someone likes or shares my post, because like I get those shares I either get shares from people really digging the stuff I make or getting mad at something I say. And either way I get really happy when those happen. I just feel like a giddy little child when that happens.
Hmm.
Cause like again going back to that one Kanye West story that I posted about a week ago, I got like I got like five people that unfollowed me, but at the same time too, I got like five different strangers coming to my page, and I was feeling like I was jumping in my chair, all like, I
Hmm.
just felt like an excited little kid when that happened.
Okay. Okay.
That's that's basically with everything I want to do, pretty much.
Okay. Okay. Interesting. Okay. And yeah, that that goes along with every artist, how the way they want to bring off this perception to others that's up to the artist, right? So the artist might have one specific brand, and the other artist may have a not so, I guess, family friendly brand, but it depends. Like you said, it depends with what goes right for you and what you just want to do, what you just want to build, So I get where you're coming from with that. The name, Hermit Enigma, right? So Enigma, that could be represented as something mysterious, right? So do you think, is there an appeal to being represented as an artist who's more mysterious compared to an artist that's maybe more outgoing and sociable? Like what are the benefits you think there is to being mysterious and not really understood?
Low key though, it just depends on some type of weird. Just depends on you just basically being you being some sort of exhibition, if you know what I mean. If you're
Right.
just presenting you as a character, as some sort as an artwork itself, pretty much. Like even with Playboy Cardi, if he back in like a while ago when he basically when he was acting all mysterious and he rarely posts and stuff like that, and all he posted was like snippets and vid pics. That's kind of like I feel like that's what a lot of people would be drawn to. Like not even on a niche level, like on a mainstream basis, as he's a good example, just because of the fact that people are that I think personally people are drawn to things that they don't understand, that they don't completely understand at first glance, and
Mm.
that they barely get any type of explanation or complete thesis on. Like they want MFs that keeps them guessing more or less.
Mm. Yeah.
Because like
Yeah, I could agree with you on that because the way, that from what I've seen, like how Cardi, does his album rollouts, it really gets people intrigued. Even when the album dropped, it didn't drop the expected time, and people were like waiting and waiting, and it just dropped out of nowhere, and then everybody had like this whole like rush of just, oh, it's out now, like let's go. But yeah, I get what you're saying. That appeal to, like, I guess, like expecting the unexpected is something that music fans that do like Cardi are attached to. So
not just music, but like with anyone, pretty much. Like a lot of people, like even with regular MFs, even with complete crash out freak shows like lolcows and stuff like that, people are just interested in people that they can't get a read on specifically, and they want to see specific and they want to see what they're doing or where they're going to end up based on the persona that they're building so far.
yeah, that's true.
Kind of like it's kind of like what I'm doing. Like obviously not going to crash out, but like based on this year though, I want to stop being I want to stop being palatable, if that's what I mean. If you get what I mean.
Yeah.
You know that I used to make rapper edits though. Like even a while ago, I used to do a lot of rapper edits back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Because like even right now, as of this year, I was going to say I'm not going to do those anymore. Like not out of obligation. I'm not going to make any art out of another artist unless I'm making some sort of a point, or at least I'm saying some type of message or something like that, even if it's silly or stupid or whatever. The more I do stuff, the more I create without obligation, without me actually doing something really meaningful that resonates with me. I just get drained out of it pretty much. Even with some of the views be good or not, it's not it's not something that I ultimately be would be passionate about. Low key, it doesn't resonate with me. It
Right.
doesn't resonate with the brand I want to create with myself and my image going forward. Especially when I myself am trying to be a musician, trying to be my own artist, trying to craft my own identity, have my own voice, and I don't feel like it's a good fit for me to try to mooch off of other people just so I can get views,
I get what
get
you're
some quick
saying.
likes and stuff like that.
Right. Yeah. Finding your own like niche and everything like that. I feel that, and that takes time.
Not only that, but it's also just you just trying to find your own voice too.
Okay.
Because like I'm trying to make stuff that I'm trying to make stuff that comes deeper inside of me, if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like some of the stuff I'm trying to say something, but at the same time too, I'm just making something that's more so straight from the soul. Because like if you see me make something like if I make an edit of like it's dated but like Ian Connor or something like that, I'm not going to make a piece of Ian Connor just because like he's Ian Connor. If I'm going to make something from Ian Connor, it's going to be like Ian Connor 33 or something like that.
Mm.
And like one of those stupid ass Y2K, one of those stupid ass Y2K Bjork fonts too that everyone likes to use nowadays. A lot of these graphic designers as well.
Yeah.
It's just for me to just riff on those pretty much. Riff on two MFs at once, pretty much, more or less. Feel like I should be more raw, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, that's all you can do is do what's best for you, you know? So, yeah. Okay. So, Hermit, I want to, because a part of your journey is you being a part of the Speedboat Collective. And, I want to learn more about your perspective with being a part of that group, right? So, as a part of your journey, how was it like joining the group for the first time? And what do you feel is like, was like the overall chemistry over the years working with the other members?
If I were to be honest with you, I Daz almost don't even remember how I even got in here. Cause cause like it's been like almost 3 years since I've been here. And low key, it feels like I've been here for longer. And even some members even said that as well. Like I'm like that one character in a TV show that appears with the main cast in like the second season, and then he just feels like he's just a part of the show pretty much. That's how I feel. But like even then, I feel like there's I still feel like a little bit new, even with some of the experiences I have a little bit because I keep seeing members coming and going, pretty much coming, going, and returning and whatnot. And I still be talking with a good amount of them, but at the same time too, there's still some that I want to get to know more, to be honest. And
Mm.
either I'm too big closed minded or any other reason, something like that. It's
Okay.
just like at the same time too, I feel like in terms of vibes though, between me and Manny, between me and Manny and Alex, I'm pretty sure in my views, SBC goes in like two specific vibes, two specific areas. It's the lighter vibes with Jules, Kojo, and KP, and then it goes to the darker, weirder, more freak show side with me, Limp, and Manny, pretty much.
Okay.
That's big. It's it's kind of like a weird yin and yang with a bunch of different ideas. Like
Mm.
we even have me trying to get our brand identity together, and like we took about 4 or 5 hours or something like that trying to figure out what we are. It's like having a big psych session, except man was trying to use AI for it, but like
Hmm.
but like in a way it still feels like a weird mix of ways. Like we're still trying to I still feel like there's a way we can market ourselves in a way that's nebulous, and we could get a few white appeal, get some white appeal out of it, but at the same time too, just a lot of the areas that we're in, what we're doing, the type of tones and vibes and voices that we have, be a little are a little bit are a little bit too distinct from one another. Not distinct, but too different. Like we're also trying to figure out a way to move as a unit because like it's like it's like you're one big ass spider or something like that, and each of us are just different legs. Because like everyone wants to move in one direction and another one's trying to move in another one or like trying like some type of Voltron type MF or
Hmm.
whatever. Like we had different, like we all had different functions, and we're trying to figure out we're trying to do different functions, but we're trying to figure out how to apply it to the bigger picture. Pretty much, I have faith of us doing stuff on our own, but like we still need to figure out how we're supposed to move together. I don't know if anyone else feels the same way or not.
Gonna ask you, Hermit. That's interesting. How you mentioned a few members of the group are kind of more, their niches are different from other members of the group. And to add to what you were saying, I was gonna ask, like, what do you guys think it will just take for you guys to have this kind of brand where oh, we like to do things that are more on the edgier side compared to the other group members that like to do things that are more, I guess, family friendly side. Like, what do you think it will take for you guys to actually come sit together and be like, hey, we need to figure this out?
I think we just need to figure out just what exactly what aspects we all basically have and what we agree on, and just actually carry them out. Because like we kind of sort of have an idea of what we are specifically, but like at the same time too, we need to actually put more effort into putting our actually trying to put ourselves out there as a group, like actually make content as a group centered group centric type type work, if you get what I mean. Because even at the same time too, we all work as different sectors, pretty much different sections of different creative fields. One of us is a model, by the way. One of us is mostly known for modeling, and I still don't know how that's going to play, how it's going to play with the group. But like, he's still good at marketing, which uh, which I feel like both me and Kojo, we're probably the two marketing heads of the group. The consultant, and I'm probably one of the main admins in terms of like branding and stuff like that.
Hmm.
But like, in terms of both the technical, I feel like everyone at the same time too has something they could offer. Like whether it be on the technical side or like just going out and making stuff, like doing streams, doing songs and stuff like that, doing artwork promotions. I feel like if we all put our heads together and we use our skills in the right way, I feel like we could all move as a unit in ways that could reach and connect with a lot of people. Because like, even though we all had different things, we all move in different areas specifically. At the same time, too, like I said, we could all be somewhat nebulous enough to the point where we could grab at least a wider array of people that could actually be drawn to us and what we make. Because
Right.
like, even if it's we make some of us do edgy content, some of us do family friendly type content, it doesn't have to be strictly one or the other. Like we can, like both of which have two different common aspects, and all we need to do is just mix the common aspects that we have together, and then just make it as a big presentation, make it as our main presentation as a way for for the public to look at us as a brand, pretty much, more or less. Like, even if we're all different creatives in one way or another, we just need to, like I said, we just need to put our heads together and just put our plans into action. Because, like, the last time we had a meeting or something like that was like back before I was graduating,
Okay.
like early last month too. And we need to actually start, and we haven't had meetings since then, believe it or not.
Okay. Okay.
Plus we need, I feel like probably our biggest Achilles heel as a group currently is just the fact that we're not holding each other accountable, pretty much. Because like, we have specific plans, specific ideas that we all think could benefit us, that could probably push us to the next level. But at the same time too, like we rarely have any time to actually commit to those ideas or not, to actually try to flesh those out, actually try to put stuff into action, pretty much, if
Hmm.
you get what I mean.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. Yeah, and I feel like, once you guys, you know, get to that section where you guys are all balanced and everything, and you guys are, committed to having more talks about it, you guys will get there. All it takes is just, the sacrifice and the compromising and then the action. So you guys will get there.
And time management too, don't forget.
Oh
We
yeah.
just need to find time at the end of the day.
Right. So I asked Jules this question, so now I want to ask you, Hermit. Can you go one by one and describe all the members of the Speedboat Collective in your opinion?
If I were to go one by one in a short in short, a few short phrases, it would be Manny, probably the most probably the most intelligent probably the smartest member of the group, probably one of the main brains in there. Also one of the most esoteric and mysterious in terms of the definition that we spoke, the most obscure in a way. The one that tries to the one of the members that try to puzzle people with their presentation pretty much. Like even with his ads and stuff like that and the beats he makes. He makes stuff that's more weird, something that's more left field. But at the same time too, there's a certain arrogance and intelligence with the way he speaks and presents himself. Like he actually feels like he feels like you're digging up a scholar from like a whole different period in human history in a way. It's kind of that type of vibe of what he makes. On the other hand, you have KP Gohan, KP Masenko, Mr. KP for art himself. He's if I were to say if I were to boil KP down to a specific word, it would be palatable. Like something that's I feel like KP makes art. Most of the stuff that he makes is probably the most widely accepted out of the entire group. It's like it's if I were to boil his stuff down, it's basically he's probably the most wholesome one, like probably the most welcoming fellow out the bunch, like the one that's most likely to give you a handshake and stuff like that, and look you in the eye and give you a smile. Like some while other times MS will just look at someone and be all and just try to give you a weird stare when you hold their hand out, kind of like me in a way. Coach, I feel like he's the uncle of the entire group since he's the oldest one. Like he's there when we need him for advice, but he's also one of the main hearts of the group as well. Like even though he doesn't actually in terms of content wise, he's probably the most distant out of all of us since he's just modeling, and then even then, he rarely comes in contact with the group at some points. But at the same time, too, when he does, it genuinely helps us. He he's doing his own thing, and he's there when we need him. So praise to him, praise to the Brit. He's always useful for us. He's he's one of those figures that's keeping us together truthfully, even if he's not there, we can still feel his presence. And then we have Mr. Fred Durst Alexander Limp Biscuit. He's probably like the closest I feel like in terms of like if I were if I were to describe myself in terms of my overall brand, from two Speedboat members specifically, it'd probably be a mix between both Manny and Will pretty much. Like Manny's more on the mysterious end. Meanwhile, you have Limp who's on the punk end, if anything. That more youthful, rebellious energy. I feel like that's what he embodies the most out SBC more than anyone else in the entire group, truthfully. Cause like he's probably like the second biggest edge lord here, but at the same time too, he probably resonates with people younger than us, like teenagers and young adults more than anyone else in this entire group, pretty much. Which which he he is 18. He is basically by default the youngest member in here, but at the same time too, he brings a youthful energy in a way that the rest of us still try and figure out a way that we could in our own ways, pretty much. He's probably the most in touch member of the group by far. in terms of what in terms of what is currently hot right now. He's probably got the best sense in that regard. And then we have Jules, which I haven't spoke too much, but at the same time too, he he's probably one of the most laid back and chill MFs in this entire group, more or less. Just for the fact he's a jokey fellow, but at the same time too, he when he gets serious, he does actually try to help. He does actually do a good deal with helping us too. Like, and at the same time too, even with his music, you still sense that he's having fun, but at the same time too, he's also trying to prove something as well. He's actually trying to prove that he's capable and he wants to act and he wants to make a name for himself. Like he's been like when I first joined the group, he's been out of the field pretty much. He hasn't done anything when I joined the group. He's probably the one that was been MIA most next to UP. I already forgot his name. But at the same time too, he's jumping back in. He's already trying to actually to make a trying to build himself up, trying to cement his place in the group. If you get what I mean, try since he, if I recall, he's probably one of the founding members. I'm probably wrong in that regard. One of you can correct me. One of you can shoot me if I'm wrong. But at, at the same time too, I feel like he's he's trying to find a spot in here. Like he already has a spot, but like he's trying to fill the place that fill the void that he left a while ago, and actually trying to make a big impact on here. Which hopefully at some point, hopefully later on, I'm genuinely working on something that he could use, even though I kind of ghosted him a little bit, but like at the same time too, I kind of feel like that he could make something. He actually could. That I feel like we could work well together on one way or another, even if it's not art related in terms of music. I want to figure out a way to put him to good use, which I am indeed trying to do. Believe me, like within a few months or so, you might see something come out of that. So yeah. And then you got Hermit. He's a big old weirdo, but he cute.
Okay, awesome, awesome, and I'm glad that I like how you described all the members of your group, but still at the end of the day, you see the beauty and how different they are and how unique they are, and I'm glad that uplift them and say good things about them. So that's great. Okay.
Everyone has potential in one way or the other. That's just basically how it is, whether it
Mhm.
be on their own or just within a group. I'm just saying it the way I view it pretty much. If I haven't joined this group, I probably wouldn't have made it this far in pretty much everything I'm doing pretty much. So I have to give my props to them because like legit, if it weren't for me joining Speedboat, I probably would never put out my first project. And if I did, it'll probably be way later. Either that or I would quit within a few months. The same thing could be said with the art account as well. I probably would quit doing that if I if I had a chance because like before I joined Speedboat, I was like 3 or 4 months in actually taking this legit. As if I wasn't actually getting any real motion out of that, I probably would just said, "F it, I'm done." But like, nah, them boys actually helped me out stay focused, stay locked in. I gotta give it to them. Cause
Awesome.
like without being around that type of energy, you wouldn't actually focus on actually getting stuff done. I've seen it firsthand with multiple people. Like they want to start doing stuff, but they're not around the right type of crowd to actually try to better themselves, to actually try to stick with their own goals, like they did with me pretty much. Help me focus on help they help me set my sights on a clear path, and with their support, they help me give me the confidence to walk towards it and never look back. if I stray off the path, I still feel like I do. I still feel like I want to. I still feel like I'm growing. Still feel like I'm about to stumble upon something that will make a big impact of one way or another. I got. So I got just. I have to give my props to them one way or another. As I'm grateful to them more than anyone else on this journey, or at least one of them. At least one of the factors I'm the most grateful of. At the same time, too, we just need to figure out a way to just apply that same energy to us, pretty much, more likely than not.
So Herman, I want to transition here quickly to your social media presence and your page, right? So, um, you talked a little bit about that some of your posts that you've published, right? But on your art page on Instagram, how has your perspective changed as an artist from the earliest project you posted back in 2020 compared to your most recent post from this year? How do you think you've changed or developed or evolved?
Probably the biggest way I've evolved since then, the biggest perspective that I've changed is that I just wanted to, at, the, at this point, more likely than not than ever, I actually want people to make me distinct from everyone else. Like, even back then, I kind of want to be distinct, want to have my own voice, but at the same time, too, if I were to be real with you, I do not want to. I do not want to have my name next to a bunch of these run of the mill graphic design accounts, if you get what I mean.
Yeah.
Like the one, like the specific ones that do the regular rapper ads and stuff like that. With the regular Y2K ones, like
Mhm.
low key. I want to actually do more to actually make my own voice, even when in terms of editing and illustrations. I actually want to have a brand that people recognize. I want people to pick me out of a crowd and come to me for what I make. I want to actually, I want to actually be you. You've heard of an artist on Instagram called Pitch Kanker, right?
No, I don't know.
Like legit, he's the one that did those edgy illustrations before I have. He's probably the main reason why I made the most of my drawings like that. Pretty much why I even started this art account, just because he has a specific identity, a specific style, a specific voice that people come to him specifically for, and he's able to make money off the stuff he does, like selling multiple products like skate decks and clothes, and even tarot cards too at some point.
Hmm.
Like I want to be able to have my I want to be able to brand my art as of like that. He's been my biggest inspiration ever since I met him in like the not met him, but ever since I saw him on like the summer of saw his page in like the summer of 2020 or something like that. That is probably the biggest reason why I'm trying to take my art account seriously. Just so I can end up like him, if anything else. Just so I
Okay.
could be just so I could be someone like him. Just to actually be someone, be my own identity,
Okay.
instead of like just be a be just like one of those regular rapper or dog food packaging type graphic designers.
Okay.
Want to be an actual voice, pretty much.
Right. You want to be seen in your own way so that like when we see your work in the future, we're like, oh yeah, that's Hermit. That's Hermit's work right there.
That's basically me. My biggest goal since since the start of this year, pretty much, just do more to draw attention, whether it's making something edgy or not or whatever. I'm just trying to do what I can to just get my put myself in my rawest forms into the medium of art, whether it be drawing or graphics design or whatever it is.
Mm.
That's probably my biggest goal, which is why I stopped, like I said, stopped with the rapper ads before. Just because it's becoming overdone, and just for the fact that it's just it just feel just me doing ads to rappers nowadays, it just feels forced, if anything. Like if Kendrick or Tyler had big release, I just wasn't feeling it by the time I was doing ads of those, because like I feel like I was doing those strictly out of obligation just to get views.
Mm.
And at the same time too, I could have done an edit of Playboy Kari, but I opted not to. I could have done an edit of the weekend when he was dropping his project, but I said nah. And any time of this year, I could have made something out of Dolce, but I just chose not to, pretty much,
Right.
because I don't want to. I don't want to be someone that rides waves just specifically for views, because like that's the main thing I want. That's the thing I wanted to do before, like get specific views out of a specific audience that's just surface level. Like I beast, pretty much. I'm just trying to get probably my big one of the biggest goals of this year is just me trying to weed out as much high beast as possible. The graphic design accounts are just the type of high beast about. Like I genuinely can't stand from an artistic point of view, I just can't stand just how surface level they are. They only just look at something. They only just get drawn to something just because it's hot, but don't actually do something for the passion of it. Don't actually make stuff of their own.
Mm.
They only just make specific things just because they see other people do, or like post a specific way, talk specific way, or act a specific way just because it's just the main trend. And at
Mm-hmm.
this point, even back then, I was really big into these archive pages back then, and I kind of want to make art just to appeal, wanted to make art to appeal to them. But then like later on, not this year, but like a couple years ago, I posted some of my things to like a couple of these archive pages. Not, like one of them were hype these art, and then basically just got clowned for it, pretty much.
Mm. Wow.
Like even though it got a strong reaction, like that's what I want. But at the same time too, I felt like I was shunned in a way. Don't get it twisted. I like MFs that get riled up at me if somebody gets a laugh. At the same time too, I it just paints a specific perspective of who I am to a specific audience. Like not just an art though. Like even some of these apps like Twitter and stuff like that. When in one of those GCs and one of those Twitter group chats where I try to post my stuff in there just so we could just like gas each other up. Like I was in one of those Noe for Noe GCs, or those like for like GCs where we just share posts, we can gas each other up, whether it be for art or whatever. And no one gassed my stuff in there. And
Mm.
it's like, it really puts a perspective on who you are and who actually apps with you or not.
Yeah.
And so by that point, as the years go by, I try to do more and more to try to weed those guys out, if anything else. Just try to weed them out as much as possible, and only just grab the ones that actually have more distilled taste, if you get what I mean.
Right.
If they're drawn to something, to the more curious eye, to someone that's actually drawn to something that's different.
Gotcha.
Which is
Okay.
why which is why over time I started respecting most of these archive pages. Going back to that, I started respecting them less and less and less when you start realizing that most of these MFs post the same damn pictures. Most of these MFs make the same damn post, like literally recycle them. Like you really see one post on one of those accounts, you see one on three other ones. And I was like, man, these guys really do have a specific network. Like not just a specific network, but at the same time too, they only grab from one pile, and the even then the topics they talk about and post about are just so basic. They
Mm.
don't go that deep. Their content just goes as much is worth as much as used toilet paper, more or less.
For you, you just the whole trending stuff that gets old and boring. You kind of you want to stay away from the whole mediocre stuff or what people say now mid stuff, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Not only that, just doing something that's basically overused, pretty much.
Hmm.
Like MFs doing stuff that's pretty much overused, or just doing stuff that a lot of people think is cool that I just think is lame, pretty much. Like a good amount of that opium trend, like a lot of the current opium or Y2K trends, like even I saw a post on Twitter recently that someone posted. I'm listening to buying music on PSP, and I'm like, is that supposed to be a vibe? Like, I've been tweeted this in response to that post, quote tweeted at some point, like saying that that one chick that was pulling up a DS at 100 gigs concert was more of a vibe than whatever they were trying to do. Like, deadass.
I think I've seen
The
that where
like
someone has a DS and they're like recording the concert. That's pretty. Yeah, I've seen something like that.
Yeah, because at the very least you could say that it's a vibe that fits specifically with 100 gags in their fan base. Pretty much, it's something that they would do specifically. On the other hand, Kari fans are just sheep in general. Like most of the MFs that like it's one of the reasons why I'm starting to dislike this Y2K trend even more and more as time goes on, just for the simple fact that most of them don't know what Y2K actually is. Either that, or they only just do that with it. They only just grab from a certain reference points that are easily attainable without actually going that deep into what they're trying to reference. It's like Gen Z, in terms of Gen Z and their Gen Z wants to look for a stack so bad, but at the same time too, they commit to those just as well as they do relationships, and that's a god honest truth.
I kind of want to go back, Hermit, to your social media posts, your portfolio on Instagram. Some of the themes I'm noticing in your mixed media art is like the censoring of the eyes, which I assume that the time was based on your theme of the whole enigma, mysterious stuff. Being hard to identify, but you also have pieces of photos and font being duplicated, crop. You got doodles going around your images like swirls, stars, money signs, flowers. What do all these fine details mean in your project? Is what's the significance of it?
It's just vibes, pretty much, more or less. I just put in whatever I think looks cool and nothing else.
Okay.
Because, like, legit, probably my, in terms of my edits, probably my biggest, probably my biggest inspiration comes from probably 70s or 60s punk posters and 90s game advertisements, more so the latter, like 90s and 2000s big type video game advertisements with the type of with some of the type of with the over the top editing and presentation stuff like that. And even with the punk vibes with how all over the place their layouts are and what they put in there that grabs your attention. That's basically the type of vibe that I try to make, but add my own little twist to it pretty much.
Oh,
Like me trying to be mixed media is me it's like me trying to put in trying to find as much stuff as I can as possible, try and make a collage out of, out of a magazine pretty much, and then just drooling all over them. And that's basically the type of vibes the drawn eyes basically means. Just me trying to emulate that in a way.
okay.
Just emulate trying to emulate a college kid just trying to make a magazine collage and stuff like that. That's basically where I got most of my inspirations from, pretty much. At
Okay.
least those are my two biggest reference points of anything.
Okay, Hermit. I know that you earlier you spoke about some of your art pieces that you like, but I'm gonna tell you my top three that I like, right? So, and you could just help me analyze or share your thought process behind these, if you're willing to.
Go on ahead. Go
So,
on ahead.
so the first one I'm gonna go with, this was one you pointed out too, but I love the psycho-inspired movie project that you did with the words "ah" coming out the mouth of the lady who's scared, right? So,
Oh
um,
yeah.
if you wanna elaborate more on this project, and are you a big psychological thriller movie fan?
Probably this is probably one of my biggest favorite genres of all time. Like low key, Silence of the Lambs probably might be one of my top five favorite movies of all time. On top of that too, 10 Cloverfield Lane might be one of the most underrated movies I've ever seen. To be honest, like even when it came out, wasn't that big on the first Cloverfield, but at the same time too, back in 2016 when I saw 10 Cloverfield Lane, I probably fell in love with that the moment I saw it. Like I just I just wish that movie was more talked about, low key, especially when John Goodman was in it too. He put on a good performance as well. In terms of the specific edits as well, though, I just want to say, mm, like the specific editing style, that's probably my most one of the two most complex things I've ever made as of right now. Like either that or the West Side Gun edit, to be specific, because because needless to it's just like I said before, it's just a bunch of different it's just a whole bunch of different layers, a whole bunch of different shit that I put together more or less, and
Mm-hmm.
then just a lot of different shit that I put together. Just I didn't even know what I was trying to do because like initially it was just supposed to be a woman's head just screaming just a line of the words and stuff like that. But then over time, I just went crazy with it more likely than not.
Oh, okay,
I
yeah.
just went crazy with the specific stuff
That one's
with,
definitely my
with what I
favorite
wanted.
one. That's one's definitely my favorite one. You did very good on that one. How long did that one take you?
I'd say about 3 or 4 days or something like that.
Okay, okay.
Like I said, it's been a while since I actually made something like that. But like because I was having because I was still in school at the time too. But at the same time as well though, at the same time as well though, I can't get a specific read on how long it took me. But I can just say it just took a hell of a lot of work. That's all I'm gonna say. Plus, psychological thrillers are more tense than horror movies. Don't debate me, fools.
My second one, I'm gonna go with. I love the Xbox mixed media project you did. It takes me back to the retro days of playing Xbox, older video game consoles. So, tell me the creativity behind this project and what are some of your favorite retro games or older consoles you like?
Probably Probably the I just looked up a bunch of like I said I just looked up a bunch of old ads for the original Xbox. Like I was originally going to make it more over the top, something more on the lines of that one that I edit, but at the same time too, I just don't didn't think I didn't just I just didn't think I was at the specific skill level to actually make something that's that accurate. But at the same time, too, with what I got so far, hold on, let me look at this thing again. Like I feel like this wasn't one of my best edits per se, but like I, but in a way, I kind of see it like just I just want to match just how cryptic and also in your face the imagery was with these types of ads specifically
It does give me
with it
Matrix
not just
vibes.
with the advertising. Yeah, because like it's basically most of the 6th gen consoles in the 2000s, not most of them, just the PS2 and the Xbox specifically, just gives big old big old Matrix Fight Club type vibes. Not only that too, but I also looked up a bunch of launch titles that came on the original Xbox as well too.
Okay.
like Dead or Alive, Project Gotham, and even the first and even the goddamn Shrek game. I heard that game was poopy, but at the same time too, yeah, I like I like it in a weird way. I haven't played it, but at the same time, too, I like it in an ironic sense. If you get what I mean, just
Yeah.
because if you see that game, Shrek basically runs like Sonic the Hedgehog, like the fucking Flash in that game.
Right.
I just like the fact that you have a move that you literally have a button dedicated to you farting. Just literally you using a fart as an attack. Like, yeah. And on top of that, too, it's also a game. It's also a first game with deferred shading. Like I can't describe it in detail, but at the same time, too, it at the same time too is just find funny how a game where you play as a farting ogre is probably one of the most technically advanced games of its time. Pretty much one of the most technically revolutionary ones as a far at least at that point, at least. Yo, it's me, Hermit Enigma from Hermit Enigma. I told Arma to cut this in somewhere in the middle of the video, but like going off my favorite retro consoles probably be the Wii because like I grew up with that, of course. So I'm biased by that part, but also the PS1, the PS2. The PS1 just because I like the aesthetic of its games because like the low poly stuff it just has a specific vibe that it has to its own, but at the same time too it kind of has that jagged rigidness that also has its own little charm and knickknacks. Even though most of the games play pretty jank and real trash by today's standards, you find pretty much a lot of good gems on there. On top of the PS2 library, I really did. The PS2 is probably my favorite console of all time, pretty much, and I probably say got the most undefeated library for any console lineup period. Because like for every type of like critically acclaimed whatever like MGS3 or Persona 4 or something like that, you just get a bunch of obscure little 7 out of 10 games, 7 5 out of 10 games that probably represent like the sixth console generation as peak, like when during the sixth console generation when AAA gaming was had this level of creative freedom that you wouldn't get anywhere else. So yeah. On top of that, two top three favorite retro games, I'd probably go God Hand, Shinobi, and like Super Mario Galaxy in no particular order.
So the last one I'm gonna choose here, Hermit. Out of the top three from January this year, you posted the accidents are preventable. Stay protected with the person chewing on the grenade. What's your message
Yeah,
behind
that's
this?
a baby.
Oh yeah, okay, the baby. I think I had to. I wasn't
Yeah,
too sure. I just wanted to be, I didn't want to describe it if it didn't look like how you turned out to make it. But yeah, so what's your message behind this project, and what do you hope people can learn from this message?
it's a baby eating a grenade with a text saying accidents are preventable. What do you think that means? I'm just trying to do my due diligence. That's basically what I'm trying to do. That drawing right there, too, is also part of a specific series I'm trying, not a specific series, but a specific set of posts I'm trying to get ready for at some point. You're going It's something that you're going to see later on this year come to fruition though. Just know that I have more planned out, and then you guys are going to see you're going to see the whole you're going to see the whole thing come to fruition at some point, because like I'm actually trying to build something right now, and I'm hoping and not hoping it'll actually be it'll actually be a thing this summer. All we are going to see it when it happens.
Awesome. Okay, we will just have to wait and see then. All right. Okay, Hermit. Just moving on here. I want to ask some conclusion questions before I let you showcase some of your physical work, whatever you want to show. Um, what advice can you give to artists who struggle with, balancing wanting to showcase their skill and talent as an artist, but also they don't want to be too much. They don't want too much of their identity being all over the place as they build their brand, right? And we talked about that whole enigma, mysterious thing. What can you say? Artists like that might be more reserved, don't want to be out there, but also want to showcase their talent. How can they balance that?
Just be whatever the you are,
Preach,
but
preach.
not but not legit though. You'll be if you're trying to build if you're trying to build like a business or something like that, you might not want to put all of you in one place. But at the same time, too, though, on that same notion, you gotta also understand that that the more that you're in that one the more you're in this creativity game, the more you're going to be jumping around different positions and like different areas specifically. You're going to be mentally in one place to another because like I was like back in the day, back in 2022, I was like, oh yeah, I'm kind of a little bit nervous, but like I'm also excited. I feel like I feel like if I could do the right things, I could get where I need to go. And then almost about 3 years later, I'm already want to jump out of the damn window with half the stuff I'm doing pretty much.
On GTA, right? On GTA.
No, IRL GTA.
Okay, okay. There's GTA. It's still
But at
GTA.
the same, yeah, yeah, Gary's mod.
Yeah.
But like, but like at the same time too, if you're the longer you're going to be creative and stuff like that, just know you're going to be like as of any person, as of any regular human being, like you're going to be constantly in different mental states. You're going to be moving from one place to another. It's the same thing with you being an artist, pretty much. Probably, if there's like one piece of advice I could give to any type of art, especially one that's new, it's make what you just be true to who you are and basically don't be afraid to network with anyone. Just you have, or just both of those things boil down to like one specific lesson, and that is more or less just don't get afraid. Just don't be afraid to get out of your comfort zone because, like, I think when I recall the first time I didn't know where I wanted to go, where I'm supposed to share my art. So I joined a bunch of these servers. One of those just so happens to be the Dead Man server, like one of the Dead Man servers I found in Discord.com. I posted my art there, Manny and Limp noticed, and then the rest is history. You
Okay.
basically just have to keep, you basically, not just you as an artist, but you as a creative, and actually trying if you want to make a living off of what you do, you got to promote yourself anywhere and everywhere you can. Like go on different apps, go on Twitter, go on Instagram, Discord, YouTube. Go find a way to put yourself out there one way or another. And
Okay.
not only that too, but also don't just promote your art, also promote you as a person. Like don't be afraid to actually express yourself, express what you would express what you want to say in your opinions because like you're someone on the internet, your voice matters. It don't matter any less than anyone else whether they want to make you feel like that or not. Don't be afraid to express yourself because like that's the main thing because that's what I did earlier this year that's probably when I got some of the most engagement I got on the account in a while. So it's going to pay off. Trust. Just like even if you feel a bit standoffish at first, you'll the more you're in the game, the more you keep engaging, the more you keep looking at other people, the more you keep looking at your circle, your network, then you'll warm up to them eventually. You'll find your voice and who you are. You won't be afraid to show yourself. Yo, it's me, Hermit Enigma again. I told Arma to slice this in the video once more, but like the third thing that I forgot to say is that you have to learn how to be versatile as well, especially as an artist, as a creative, pretty much. Because like even if you specialize in one specific thing or whatever, like whether it be in art or music or something else, editing, I feel like it's kind of hard for you. Even if you master one specific thing and getting better at one thing, it's getting hard for you to get recognized by specific people when you only just do when you only just do one specific craft in one specific field. But like I feel like as of right now, in like 2025 as a Gen Z type of artist or whatever that comes afterwards. I feel like it's necessary, especially as more independent creators are getting more saturated, more independent artists and stuff like that. And the landscape's getting more and more saturated as time goes on. I feel like it's getting even more and more necessary for you to start learning how to apply your skills to different areas like editing, photography, music, drawing, whatever. Like it might seem a little bit overkill at first, but at the same time too, it feels like it's a necessary evil. It feels like a necessary evil as well. Because like not necessary evil, but like it feels like you're throwing shit at a wall trying to see what sticks, but at the same time too, if you're good at multiple different avenues, then it's going to help you stick out more in the long term. It's going to help you stick out for specific different areas because like if you're good at one thing, then other people if you're good at one thing, you're also good at another thing, and you'll also get noticed in another place as well. Learning how to if you're learning how to branch out and be more versatile, that's basically what you are. Just learn how to be more versatile when you're building yourself as an artist with your brand, pretty much. That's basically what I wanted to say, pretty much. Feel like it's more necessary, especially when you learn how to specialize in specific tools to help you get by. Like not even creativity, but like in marketing as well and like technical stuff. Like I feel like that stuff is necessary, especially if you're trying to get by and you're trying to make yourself try to make yourself well known in this big ass internet landscape.
So Hermit, you talked about this a little bit before, but if you want to elaborate, what's next for you this year or in the next few years? What are some things maybe you're hoping to do with your group, or is there certain events you want to go to or check out? Like what things do you want to do this year and so on?
Low key though, I still want to keep those under wraps because like I'm still trying to plan all these out. I kind of want to make those surprises because like want to make those a surprise to my audience as a way because like I want to keep people on their toes still pretty much because Hermit Enigma and I don't want people to know what don't want people to expect like the same things out of me. But I'll just say this though, like in about 3 months or so, about 3 4 months or 3 4 months from now, in about August or something like that. If you're down to do another interview, then hit me up then, and then I'll go more into detail after all those come into fruition. After I get done with all those, because I'll probably have a lot more new things to say once those things get done.
Yeah, Hermit.
You guys will see what I mean.
Yeah, Hermit. Like I tell everyone who's been a guest here the first time, it's not just a one stop thing. Like if you want to come back and return, talk about something else, you're always welcome to. The door is open. So yeah. So
Wonderful.
all right, Hermit. This is I'll let you take the floor. This is your time to showcase. Anything that you're comfortable with sharing, and yeah, whatever you're good with.
Low key though, I'm probably under NDA right now. I don't know. Speedboat doesn't have an NDA. We're not official right now, but
Hmm.
this is probably like one of my two biggest, probably the two things I'm working on as of right now, art wise. Like as of right now, you see this?
Yeah.
This is This is me just trying to make a Twitch banner. This thing right here is supposed to be an octopus just because the UI keeps has because Twitch has a UI that keeps blocking the banner specific elements in the middle. So I just made a big ass squid just so I could have everyone else in view pretty much as my way to try to bypass it. Like try to make a destroyed ship, try to make a dramatic scene that is somewhat striking to an audience, if you get what I mean, but also leaves intrigue just because the fact that Twitch keeps covering up the banner. Just want to make it look interesting in a way. And this is probably the second thing that I'm making. It's it's not something I'm going to post. If I do, it's going to be a shit post for most of it. If I have nothing else on there to put on there, but I'm also making this too for my free time.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's Barnyard. I like Barnyard. Yeah, that's pretty much all I'm working on, pretty much in terms of art. So yeah, that's basically it. That's
Oh
basically my
man,
time here.
awesome, awesome. That was great. That's just fine. At least as long as you show at least one thing, that's I'm satisfied with that, you know. But yeah, this was amazing, Hermit. Wow, like, I didn't know what to expect. This is my first time actually like talking to you, so I had no idea what to expect. But from everything I heard, everything you have said to me about who you are as a creator, just been just phenomenal. Like, wow. And now I learn more about you and who you are. So I'm like, okay, I know about Hermit, but now I know about Hermit. So, so yes.
Yeah, you get me. I even did this slightly intoxicated. Did this slightly drunk in a way. I'm glad I didn't make a scene after this.
Well, Hermit, we want you to stay safe. We want you to be sober. Okay, we want sober Hermit. We want you to be the best version of yourself. Okay, we don't need you out here crashing out, going crazy. Okay,
So,
so I'm gonna need you to
but
cleanse
what
your.
that,
I'm gonna
that
need you to cleanse
but
yourself.
that what that gets you views. But what that gets you good views though. People want good crash hour freak show nowadays. You
No,
gotta
no, Hermit,
admit
no,
those
Hermit.
good
We need
views.
we need you good and clean, my brother. Okay, so so
It's okay. I got some water right
see,
here.
there you go. That's what I'm talking about. Detox yourself.
H2O.
There you go. So, yeah, I wish you nothing but the best, Hermit. For all the things you're trying to do, just put your mind to it, and you're gonna do it, all right? And shout out to you and your group once again. So continue to have a positive effect on your community and the world, right? So with everyone watching this or who's gonna watch this, thanks to everyone who's tuned in. If you like content such as this, feel
Thank
free
you.
to share this video if you support independent artists such as Hermit. Um, we got underrated people doing amazing things out here in this world, and they need to share their voice. So comment your thoughts.
Give me money. Give me money. I'm doing this for free. I'm doing this for free. She is not paying me. I'm literally doing this for charity.
Hey, man. Hey, your voice is priceless. Your voice is priceless. Your voice is worth more than millions of dollars, my friend. Okay.
At least, but not in this economy. So MM's gotta get paid. Even you know that.
Hey, come on, Hermit. You know what you said here today was amazing, and I just appreciate it. So with that being said, uh, I'll see you guys in the next video, and take care. Peace.